As we continue to study the summary from Luther's Catechism on the petition, lead us not into temptation, the sixth petition of the Lord's Prayer, we want to investigate another thought here. Why do you think temptation is such a big deal? I mean, the fact that Jesus, out of 7 petitions, has one that's geared toward fighting temptation. Maybe another reason for asking this question, why is it such a big deal? Sin is so common among us as sinful people, and temptation gives way to sin. So, being that it's so common, we could probably look at temptation and think it's not such a big deal. Sin is not such a big deal. Again, it's so common. And yet, again, Jesus treats this as an issue that we need to pray about. So why so serious? Why don't you go ahead and talk as a family about why temptation, trials that are put before us, or at least that the devil shapes, that our sinful nature drives us toward, that the world really pressures us to undergo, in the hopes that we fail, in the hopes that we lose God. Why is it such a serious thing? Go ahead and talk about that as a family. What temptation is and why it's so serious, even though we might not sense it and take it seriously as we should. As you discuss that, if you want to pause, go ahead. I'm going to read to you James 1:14 through 15. That's going to give us some insight, the progression of temptation, where it ultimately leads, and why it then is so serious. So James says this, "But each one is tempted when by his own evil desires he's lured away and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin," so action, right? "And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death." Gives birth to death. The wages of sin is death. And sin can also blind us so much and drive us into a pattern of life that our lives are cut short. It can lead to eternal death. All of those begin with temptation and succumbing to temptation and entering into sin. So that's really the answer that the scriptures give to us, why temptation is so serious, and the encouragement to pray that God would deliver us from temptation, because the ultimate end of temptation is death. We'll continue on with our study of this petition with our next video.